McCracken and Blackmore. The forward pack is fired up. They all need a good game today to retain their spot. Players like Peter Brown, Brent Todd, Dean Lonergan and Abosi Colotto, they really need to silence some harsh critics. Now the French team, 3 changes in the lineup after that heavy first test loss. Pascal Fage is the new fullback. Jean-Marc Garcia is another one making his debut, is number 2. And Gerard Boyard comes into the second row. Everything to gain, nothing to lose today. Look for their classy halves, Dumas and Ontar, to lead the way again.
Their players up. Okay, it may be a bit too late, but they are doing it now.
Dumas gets the second test match underway. First touch of the ball for Peter Brown. 23 metres out from his own line. Colotto. This time it's Lonergan. Check the new haircut on Lonergan. The barbers have been doing big business in Christchurch this week. Boddicker, the clearing kick straight into the arms of Cyril Palm. From the St. Gaudin Club, Palm, his 9th test. Ontar, looking for the runners. Butignol. Ontar again, this time with Storer. 2 metres from halfway in French territory. Ontar, Dumas. Good tackle there, ball and all from Jared McCracken. And that really put plenty of pressure on Bearnes. The ball was knocked on, so we'll see the first scrum of the match. 12 metres inside French territory. French pretty keen to throw it wide early on. But what a tackle from Jared McCracken.
He certainly belted him, a cracker there. Lost ball and all.
Freeman puts it in, he'll take it out. No sign of any early problems for Freeman with that ankle injury. David Watson. 30 metres out from the French line. No marker, and it is a penalty to the Kiwis. The French inside the 5 metres. So this should be in pretty easy kicking range for Frano Boddicker. David Watson, number 4, pretty quick to milk that penalty from the French. That's the angle there. Pretty well in front. And about 30 metres out for Frano Boddicker. Had a dream debut in Auckland, only 27 years of age. From the Wigan club. And he has 16 test points. 16 points in his only test so far. Straight between the uprights again. Another confidence done by the former All Black Frano Boddicker. So, here at the Addington Showgrounds after 3 minutes of play, it's New Zealand leading France by 2 points to 0.
Perfect start there for the Kiwis. Frano Boddicker looked a sharpshooter in the first test in Auckland. He certainly wasn't found wanting then. So here's something that Dumas got himself plenty of practice in the first test. Did a lot of it at training this week, kicking off from halfway. How much of it will he be doing today? Down to Lonergan, flat top Lonergan. He takes it up hard. Defence in there from Verd leading the way. Picks up Colotto. Had a solid match, but he's looking for better down here. Todd. Oh, he slips an early ball there to Nico. Unlike Todd, especially in these conditions. He's the only Canterbury player in this team, only player to have hailed from Canterbury. Mann puts it out to Freeman. Nice low trajectory kick. Turns Fage around. Fage in his first test. Freeman and Mann up there, the chasers.
Fage only 20 years of age, a couple of youngsters in this French team.
Ontar. Cyril Pond looking for early work. Driven back there by Brown and Lonergan. The 2 guys who have copped plenty of criticism for their performances in the first test.
I think it was pretty harsh criticism, really, when a team wins 60-6.
Have to agree with that. Ontar thinks better of the wide pass. A little dart there. Picked up by Colotto. Dumas. Oh, Cavastani, a bit of a juggle. Held on to there by Despin. Valero in at dummy half. And Dumas. Oh, that's out on the full. Terrible error there from Dumas. Scrum back. Feed for the Kiwis.
Apart from that early error from Dumas, the French seem to be a little more motivated for this one, Kevin.
They're certainly making a lot better yardage than they did in the first test in Auckland.
Well, this is the backs for the Kiwis getting involved, and Frano Bodega chiming in. That's the halfway line. Panapa wants to dirty his trousers. First touch of the ball for the winger. Probably a little bit of pressure on Sam Panapa with Kevin Ito still to come back in. Mistake from Brown. Couldn't hold on to that one. The French come away with it through Storer. Butignol. Kabastani. Tall, rangy second rower inside the New Zealand territory by a couple of metres. Now the loose forward, Ved.
In this game, Clarkie, they're hitting the line a lot better than they did in Auckland. They look like they want to break the line.
There's a chip over the top from Ontar, but Gary Freeman, his opposite number, is back there. Second line of defence, and read it pretty well for the Kiwis. Watson at dummy half. Now it's Blackmore. 2 tries in his debut in the first test in Auckland 10 days ago. Back to one. It was touched by one of the Frenchmen there, and Freeman again has to clean up. Watson slipped the ball to Shelper, but he couldn't hold on to it, so the French come away with it. The best position they've had in this match so far. They're about 21 metres inside New Zealand territory now.
And that was careless football from the Kiwis there. Look what it's led to now. They tried a little too much deep inside their territory. This sort of day, they've really got to be disciplined and patterned. It's got to be percentage football, especially down there. The idea, I'm sure, Bob Bailey has told them work it in and get the ball down into the French 22. If they're going to start slipping passes like that, they're going to be in trouble. The French have certainly come in to play this. They've certainly come in to give the New Zealand side a go for their money. And they certainly set out to do that.
This should be an easy 2 points for Gilles Dumas. Taura Adiko in the foreground talking to his players. It's all equal here at the Addington Showgrounds after 7 minutes of the second test. 2 points from Gilles Dumas. New Zealand 2, France 2.
And that must give France a little reason for optimism. They need to get some points early in any match in New Zealand. It's not what they've often done. Good start from them this time.
One thing that was very obvious in the French defence was that this time they're not rolling off the Kiwi players, they're grounding the players, they're holding them down on the floor a couple of seconds longer, which is enabling them to get a bit more set up.
So Bodega with the restart. Good run out from defence, almost up to the 22 there. The loose forward, Daniel Verd, who played in the second row in the first test. Spage, not making much headway there. Butignol. Oh, what a hit there. Good double teaming on Kabastani. Didn't quite drive him back completely, but they certainly made impact. Loose pass. We'll take the knock-on, says referee Graham Ainui. But you can see the conditions. The ground here is atrocious. The ground's been ruined by motocross here held in the summer, and it never has recovered.
Big defence a moment ago from the Kiwis and Kevin Tamati. That certainly is what you need, because I think some of the Frenchmen were looking for the tacklers.
They certainly do. Once they can be upset, then it'll make the Kiwis work a lot easier for them.
McCracken plays it. They want it down the blind side. Nikau. Freeman. Peter Brown. Good head-on defence there from E. Storer. And now there's another penalty to New Zealand. Storer not allowing Brown to get up and play the ball. So another chance coming up for Frano Bodega.
It's interesting that, Clarkie, I commented 2 minutes ago that the French were holding the Kiwis down and were able to get away with it. But in this shot, that certainly wasn't the case. Certainly can't get up. Wasn't allowed up to play the ball. Lost it.
a real mess in there at the end, but the penalty had already been given, and Frano Bodica has 1 from 1 so far. A little bit easier than his first attempt. A 100% record so far for Frano Bodica. No mistake. We've had 10 minutes of play in the second test now, and it's New Zealand leading France 4 points to 2.
And this is a reverse from the first test. The Kiwis, the conditions difficult, just can't get that quick start they were looking for. The French certainly more committed. As Kevin said, they were talking to each other and the national anthem was being played. So Dumas, deep kick off again, down to Nico this time. He'll take it up on his own. Valero there. And also Boyals. This is Colotto. Working hard, close in. Lonigan. Again, the second row is there in defence for France.
And Lonigan standing a little closer in today. He was told in the first test to stand wide, but the forwards obviously going to try a little bit of tight play.
And he's got to be close in. There's no point playing as wide as he was in the first test when you're looking at a series against Australia coming up. So Cyril Pons just waiting, taking his time. Players waiting 10 metres back for him as they should. 3 Kiwis in there, Nico, McCracken and Dwayne Mann. There's some pace onto the ball.
Good tackle also from Brent Todd there, drove the shoulder in.
Good tackle, all right. This is Butignol.
Oh!
Again driving in, but not managing to make the definite impact and hold the player. Certainly more vigour about their running today, Kevin.
Richard, I'm impressed by the enthusiasm that the French are playing with. They're certainly playing with a lot of heart. A lot of heart that they didn't have in Auckland.
Again,
they want it down the blind side, and Ontar into Dumas. That's the 6th tackle, so it's a handover to New Zealand right on the halfway line. Shelford gets it out to Colotto. Third around the legs, and Dumas over the top. Todd. First test match at the Addington Showgrounds for the Christchurch player. Oh, there's a bad and rare mistake from Tawara Nikau. No pressure on him there at all, and well, it's certainly not the same sort of start that the Kiwis put in Auckland. I know the conditions are a little different, but they don't seem to have their minds on the jobs as much.
Well, they're certainly not helping much, Clarkie, but I'm sure that the way the French have started this game has certainly got something to do with it. I was disappointed in the last 6 that the French had.
High shot there on Butignol. Penalty, says Graham Ainui. No hesitation there. Kiwis, maybe they're getting a bit frustrated, not getting the easy yards that they were used to in Auckland.
If this match continues for 80 minutes, the way that the French have started, then it's better preparation than that of the first test that we had in Auckland.
There's Thierry Butignol. Took a bit of a high shot on the side of the face there.
First touch of the ball in test matches for Jean-Marc Garcia. 2 tries against the West Coast on Wednesday. Now there's some good speed coming in there. That was Boyal. And that's the quarter line. New Zealand's end of the ground. Dumas, Kabastani couldn't hold on to it. A little too adventurous early on in the set of 6. And they spill it.
Kabastani had his eye on the defence. He saw the defence coming up at him and he spilled the ball.
Break up the middle from Peter Brown to Lonigan. But Boyal underneath. His opposite number read it pretty well. 10 metres from halfway. Freeman. Getting a caught in possession. Kabastani on Tar and also Dumas in there. Kiwis losing ground on that occasion.
They really need to employ a kicking game early here to get back down into French territory. At the moment, they're playing too much football in their half.
Both sides are guilty of that, Richard. They're both not using the kicking game correctly at the moment.
Well, there's Kelly Shelford doing something about it. Finds some open spaces as well. Pong is back there almost on his own quarter. Winds up and runs into David Watson underneath and Todd over the top. 12 from halfway. New Zealand leading 4 points to 2.
Valero. It's out to Stora. He's had a couple of good busts so far. This is Valero again in the muddiest part of the pitch. Loose forward Daniel Verd. Lonergan and Nico with the tackles. This is Ontar. Wide pass on the left, but beautiful tackle again from McCracken. Boy, he can hit. He hit in the first test. He's doing it again today.
His timing was on that one was perfect.
Valero with the chip. Freeman there to mop up. Boddicker injects himself. Oh, a nice pass around to Watson, but again, too adventurous in the conditions, you would say, and especially early in the tackle count.
Blackmore cleaned up, but that was a good tackle from Garcia.
It was. I thought it was a tackle that caused the turnover or caused the knock-on.
Ontar feeds. Fred Chowdle on the back line. Ditzbar, real youngster in the team, only 19 from the Villeneuve club. It's his 3rd test match.
And under another high one there, an attempted one.
There's Pond taking on Nico and also Colotto. No way through there, though. Boyal, almost to the quarter line. And the French dominating territorially in the last 5 or so minutes. Can they convert it into points? Lonergan has Ontar with Colotto, but he's allowed to offload, but he was called held. So it'll be a scrum right on the quarter line. Dumas not happy about it.
He was unlucky. He was still standing. Ontar was still standing and didn't hear the call, obviously.
Shelford. Kelly Shelford almost away from the loose forward Verd. Nico. 32 metres out from the New Zealand line. Todd wants to have a charge. Back inside it goes to Lonergan. But Cavastani read it pretty well. Now it's Brown straight up the middle. Back to Mann. Shelford. Chance out wide now from Boddicker. Around the shoulders goes Bernis.
Just look at the commitment on defence there. The French, they're all moving up on their men. They're all looking to make a hit. And that's so unlike them anywhere else on tour.
Butignol. Freeman. He's not interested in playing it down at his own half. And this is the fullback Fage, wrapped up by Gary Freeman and also David Watson with the French. A different team that we've seen in all of their matches so far on tour. This is Garcia almost through. Watson around the legs. Desperate stuff. Now it's Stora. Can the French keep it up for 80 minutes? Players like Stora and Butignol have shown glimpses of some good form on tour, but we haven't seen them do it for the full period of 80 minutes of football. But things going pretty well for them today.
Patrick on top, picked the wrong time to sell a dummy there and straight into Lonergan and Todd.
That's the big meat sandwich, isn't it?
I'm sure he didn't want that to happen.
Now it's Ontar. He's got a player inside. This is Verd. Oh, this is good work from France. This could be the first try. It's Ontar. Where's the support? That's been knocked down by McCracken. But Verd's going to pick it up. It's a try. It's definitely a try. Wow. Sensational stuff here at the Addington Showgrounds. They split them up the middle. They had the numbers. McCracken knocked them down. So it was play on. It's France 6, New Zealand 4. Aren't they happy with that one?
They certainly are, and they have every right to be. It was certainly a great try. Good inside ball from Patrick on top to Verdes, and Verdes only had Frano Boddicker at fullback, pulled him in, McCracken came across, and it was unlucky. If Patrick Untut had got the pass through, it came off McCracken's hands, and Verdes was there to pick up and score. It was a good try.
Valero had a hand in that one in support. It was the hooker. There's Dumas, the man who has the responsibility of trying to add the extra 2 points. Works for the local council. He's head of a sports recreation department. And that is the extra 2 points. So it is now New Zealand 4 and France 8 at the Addington Showgrounds. And we've had 20 minutes of the first half.
Thierry Valero. Now let's have a look at this again. Give the credit to Ontar. Ontar really drew the defence well here. Beautiful pass away to Daniel Verd. He's got Valero steaming up inside. There wasn't a lot the Kiwis could do here. They were outnumbered, but McCracken, a good effort there to knock the ball down. Speculative stuff, sure, went loose. Fast following Verd.
Verd did well in covering and collecting that ball. It was certainly a good bounce from Patrick Ontar again. Over the top, knocked down by McCracken, and Verd there picked it up and a try.
Well, here we are back live again in the action. France, they promised to do that sort of thing today. They've been urgent today. They've been keen. And they've put pressure on the Kiwis. Great start for them.
They've come into the game with commitment this time, Richard. A lot of commitment.
Well, if there was any complacency in this New Zealand team, they should try and regather and get rid of it, because they're in for a contest so far.
And now we get the kicking game early. That's what France need to do. They've got points. They're ahead by 4 points. Fage with the kick downfield. Bodaka. Just held up by Cyril Ponce. Panapa takes it out. Steps away there from Boyals. Driven back. Again, vigorous defence. Freeman onto Colotto. Again, the ball's jarred loose. Good defence from France there. Dumas to play.
Great commitment. Dumas went in. The little guy has certainly had a lot to add into this French defence. He's killed the ball off quite a few times in second tackles.
Stora. Three-way tackle there from the Kiwis. Dumas. Long pass to Ontar. Dummy there. Oh, knocked by a Kiwi, but nicely picked up there by Fage. Ontar works it left again to Ponce. You won't get away from McCracken. Look at that ball and all tackle again. Valero. Ontar looking to kick. No. Wasn't quite sure what he would do. It's on the last now. This is Valero. Wasted. Absolutely wasted. Hand over to the Kiwis here.
Yes, it should have been the kick on. They have dominated territorially. Certainly the chip kick over the top or the midfield bomb. Now this is Todd. The Kiwis put it down. Freeman cleaning up. Tara and Ickow. David Watson. Up over the halfway line goes Watson. Where's the support? There's Kelly Shelford. He's wrapped up. Better stop now, though. This is Mann, and that's the quarter line. Can the Kiwis hit back? They're down by 4 points at the moment. Watson, now here's an easy penalty coming up to the Kiwis. Watson's going to take the tap. Back inside it goes to Kelly Shelford. They've caught the French napping. It's a try to New Zealand. Good work, first of all, from Watson, and then Kelly Shelford finished it off. The French boys sleep. It's as simple as that. 8-all at the Addington Showgrounds.
Well, it certainly showed in that once the Kiwis' backs are against the wall, they can certainly come back with this. David Watson onto Kelly Shelford. Quick thinking by David Watson. I think he is one of the most underrated players that New Zealand got. Quick thinking onto Kelly Shelford and a good try.
Kelly Shelford, the Auckland skipper, making the most of his opportunities. It's his 9th test and his 5th test try, Kelly Shelford. Prado Bodica, 2 from 2 so far. This is the easiest yet. Oh, there's no doubt about it. Make it 3 from 3. So New Zealand are back in front after 23 minutes of play. The Kiwis, after that Kelly Shelford try, leading by 10 points to 8.
There we have another look at the try now. Watson, great credit. The captain mightn't have been too keen when he gets some rushes up and taps it straight away like that with 2 gift points, but if you can get away with that, 4 points, great.
We're certainly back into it. David Watson, quick tap, caught the French offhand, and Kelly Shelford, good back, good support and back up.
So it'll be Dumas to kick off soon. Kelly Shelford got a good record of tries and tests now. That was his 5th test try in his ninth test today. Lonergan, he picks up the kickoff from Dumas. There's BNS and the loose forward Verda, holding down in the tackle again. Let's stop that, says I knew. He's given a couple of penalties for that already today. They're not learning.
No, that was stupid. That was stupid. The kid was down on the ground, and all he had to do was get up and play the ball. He certainly went in over the top.
And Ben is throwing a few uppercuts in there as well. Okay, it's the Kiwis back into it. Colotto. Now this is another one. Look at Bernis and have a look at the couple of little punches going in over there.
I don't think Lonergan appreciated that at all. It's certainly obvious.
Freeman. Nico. Bounced out of one and wrapped up by Cavastani. 2 meters from the halfway. Now Freeman has it. Now it's another penalty. The French inside the 5 meters. So really their lack of discipline letting them down. They had the upper hand for a while, and now you just feel that the Kiwis starting to frustrate them a little bit now.
I thought that was a bit disappointing on the referee's behalf. In the first 15-20 minutes of the game, he's allowed the French to stand offside, and he's only just started picking them up now that we've got a game.
Well, it'll be the tap kick from Mann. Now it's Blackmore. This big winger up to the quarter line. Todd, taking a run on his own, commits a couple of defenders. 20 meters out now. Freeman. Shelford. Here's McCracken. Jared McCracken. Still 20 meters out. Now it's another penalty. This is becoming a little ridiculous. Penalty to New Zealand. Easy kicking range for Frano Bodica. The French is giving away some silly tackles or penalties.
Well, that's 8 penalties we've had in the match so far. New Zealand have 5 of them to France's 3. Have a look at it again. They just will not leave the tackled player alone, France. You've got to admire them for commitment, but they've got to slow down on that sort of thing.
I dispute that one, Richard. I think that McCracken played for that. He played well for it.
Well, good on him if he did.
Yeah.
They know they can get the penalties today for that, so they might as well play to that.
Well, I tend to agree, but not in front of their own sticks. Jared McCracken, a big, strong lad that certainly has impressed us, or impressed me anyway, since I've been here.
4 from 4 for Mr. Bodica. And New Zealand edge out a little further now. 12 points to 8 here at the Addington Showgrounds after 27 minutes of play. And he's making every post a winner, Frano Bodica.
He is everything the Kiwis got from Matthew Ridge last year. They're getting just as good from Frano Bodica today.
Well, the French are making it a lot easier for him by giving stupid penalties away in front of the sticks. I know Frano can kick him from the touchline, but I'd like to see him have 1 or 2 attempts from out there anyway.
That's for sure. 4 out of 4 for Frano Bodica today. And Dumas kicking off yet again to the same territory. This time Colotto fields it. It gives it to Panapa, looking to straighten up. Good defence there again from France. Stora and Valero. Colotto nearly through. Dragged down low by Didier Cavastani. Freeman into Nico. They lost their ball, but play on, says Ainui. Chip through from Freeman. Blocked in the chase. Knock on there from Fage. That's the sort of pressure play the Kiwis have to put on France in these conditions. Field's looking muddier and muddier. They just have to play the kick and chase game.
A simple mistake. All he had to do was regather, probably back to the old score, old rule, use your feet.
Freeman, nice long pass to Shelford. This is Watson. Watson. Man. Colotto. Shelford to Nico, knocked down by Dumas.
And that was lucky for the French because they had numbers over there. If Lonergan got the ball in his hands, it was good night, nurse.
Dumas, he's been a poor sufferer on this tour most times, but he must be happy so far.
It's a New Zealand ball. Nikau, Freeman, he's lost it, but Lonergan's there to clean up, and that's the quarter line. So New Zealand in with another chance now. 12 points to 8. Freeman, here's Peter Brown. Good ball out to Kelly Shelford. He's wrapped up though. Cavastani went over the top and smothered the ball. 15 metres out.
Doesn't Kelly Shelford back up well? He's such a player full of vision.
Well, here's Nikau. Richard Blackmore just couldn't quite pick it up. There's a knock on both ways there.
Kelly Shelford, another underrated player that certainly has taken his time to mature.
Shelford, a teammate in Auckland with Richard Blackmore at the Tahuhu club. Now the French come away with it inside their own 22. Dumar holds it up to bring this fullback into it. Fage. Now this is a young centre, Dispar. Now it's a penalty to France. This time it's New Zealand holding down in the tackle. Chance for the French to relieve themselves of a little bit of pressure and get out of their own 22.
That's the first time the Kiwis have been done for holding down. Both sides have been guilty of that throughout the whole first 20 minutes of this game anyway.
So Brent Todd picked up for that offence. This is Potts. Monstered by Peter Brown. Literally. Daniel Vieira. There we see the penalties, 9 in the match so far. New Zealand with 5 of them to France's 4. There's an awful lot so far. You don't expect that many penalties. Zizonta to Dumas. Long pass. McCracken again.
Good defence from the youngster.
And Fage might wonder what happened.
Frenchman lying down in back play there.
Dumas, the captain, was down. I think, from my reckoning, Brent Todd is lucky to still be on the park. He knocked Dumas after Dumas had passed the ball.
Well, it's Botting going to play it now for the Kiwis. And this is David Watson injecting a bit of pace up the middle. Finds Dwayne Mann. Good combination there. About 5 metres from halfway, right in the middle of the mud. Now it's Peter Brown. Watson again. Dean Lonergan bounced out of one. Pop one back to Watson. Now it's over to Todd. He's going to settle it. Just a couple of metres from halfway. Kiwis attracted to that muddy spot. Now they spin it wide. Colotto's out there. Back inside to Shelford. He's left it behind. It's a French ball. Just a little bit too enthusiastic on occasions, the Kiwis. Onta. Now the French inside their own half. 10 metres from halfway. Jules Domar, the captain. Pretty severe knock, but he's okay. And they need him to play out the distance. Storer.
I'm impressed with the French commitment. They haven't lost yards. They've always hit the line, and they've always made yards.
And there's a perfect example of it. Gerard Bourse hitting it up as hard as he can.
10 metres inside New Zealand territory. Now it's Onta. Almost caught there, but the midfield bomb has gone off the side of Bouvignol's boot, and Garcia comes away with it. Really has developed on this tour, Garcia, but that's the 6th tackle. Midway halfway in the quarter line, New Zealand's end of the ground.
Once again, we saw a prop needing to put in the midfield bomb then, but like we saw Todd in the first test 10 days ago.
It was poor organisation then. Dumas should have put the kick in before he gave it to Bouvignol.
Lonergan going to ground though in before he got to the tackle. And once again, just overdoing it in the tackle.
Just the old professional idea of holding on, trying to disrupt. Dean Lonergan down on the tackle. And as he gets up, Patrick on top keeps a hold of his jersey and won't allow him to play the ball.
There's Lonergan again. Picks it up from the restart. Dwayne Mann to Todd. Todd! Oh, good unload there to his prop mate, Peter tried to keep it alive. Oh, and Dwayne Matt. Oh, so close.
A juggle act on both the halves.
Oh, goodness, so close and yet so far. But good skills from Brown, but it just couldn't go to the right pair of hands. Here's the big front rower now. Looking for a support on the inside. If there was someone there, it was a try, but that ball just going away from man. Oh, just couldn't quite get it down.
It's about the only way Dwayne's going to get over.
So it's the French who come away with it from the tap after the penalty. 30 metres out from their own line. New Zealand, 12-8. About 5 minutes to go in the first half. This is a good determined run from the loose forward Vad. Valero dummy half, Boutignol, bad mistake there. Not back though, they get away with it as Cavastani has it. Right in the middle of that muddy patch again. Dumas, Fage. Watson and Shelford drive him into the mud. Ontar. Boyard. The loose three in this French forward pack doing pretty well today. Storer.
Now that's rubbish, Clarkie. That's rubbish. They've gone through another set of 6 and they haven't put the kick in.
I thought you were rubbishing my comment that the back three were doing all right.
No, they're playing test football and they're not playing to the conditions of the ground.
This is Freeman. Well and truly driven back by Boutignol.
He's put in a couple of good hits this half of the game.
He has, and there's Nico. Nico up the front with the tackle count so far with Brent Todd. They've both done 16 each. And Mosi Coloto contributing 15. And this is Brown, another unload to Shelford. He's getting a couple of balls away. Freeman wide to McCracken. Hasn't had much space so far. Dragged down there by Vert.
I'd like to see McCracken running onto it a little better. He was a little flat-footed there. The big man needs a bit of space.
Well, he certainly showed what he could do in Auckland when he came onto a ball.
Watson's bomb easily fielded there by the fullback Pascal Fage. This is Jean-Marc Garcia.
The kid scored a great try at West Coast, didn't he?
He did.
The second one he scored, went past 6 men.
Excellent try that was. Blackmore picks up Storer. Sorry, this is Storer now. Dwayne Mann with the tackle. Valero. The Cavastani gangling-looking runner. Awkward to tackle, though. There you see the tackle counts. Heavy counts there from Todd, Nico, and Coloto. Cavastani's also there with 16. Dwayne Mann to Freeman. Coloto, Freeman with a double round. McCracken just can't get going in that mud. Easy target for Cyril Ponce.
Yes, the mud's certainly a very good equaliser, isn't it?
It has been in the past down here on many occasions. In '84, when the Great Britain side were here, it was certainly an equaliser.
Well, this is Lonergan now, straight up the middle, allowed to offload to Freeman. McCracken again, flat-footed, and he won't wind up in that mud. Easy target there for 3 of the French defenders. The loose forward Berg is taking a while getting up, but now it's Todd. Out to Freeman, Sammy Patapa. He's only got the fullback to beat. He chipped it through. Hahn is eventually back there to clean up. It's 10 metres out from the French line. Hahn will play it. His opposite winger, Garcia, he obviously got across there fairly quickly.
I like the look of this kid, Garcia. He's coming across to the other side of the field to help the lads out. He's taken his ball up well.
And he's got real pace.
He's certainly a big boy.
Cavastani still going. Strikes off 2 tackles. Hasn't got the supporter. He can't find it. Good tackle there from Boddicker. Fullback's tackle. And it's to Duma. Another pass on here. Out left to Pons. Close to the touchline. Into it. Couldn't do much about it. They had to have a go there.
Sam Parnival weighed him up really well. Sam had him when he picked the ball up 5 yards earlier. And he certainly cleared him out. Well, good red game by Sam Parnival.
But good to see the French using their backs right out along the line. Something we didn't see in the first test. In fact, we haven't seen much of it in any of the midweek games either.
What both sides need to do at this point in time is use up the 6 and put in the kicks. Both sides aren't making or taking the advantage of using that big kick either on the 5th or the 6th tackle.
Freeman to feed. He'll take it out for New Zealand. Getting close to half-time. Parnapa. Wrapped up by Verd from the back of the scrum. Now this is Colotto. Got away from one. Amosi Colotto popped one up. Not the best of passes, but Watson comes away with it. Again, McCracken caught flat-footed. Crossfield, the big man goes. 10 metres from halfway. New Zealand's end of the ground. Brent Todd. Lonigan's running off him. Toddy holds it up for Brown instead. Brown pops it up to nobody. Bonica couldn't pick it up. Nikau cleans up, and there must have been a little knock-on in there.
Looked awfully like a knockback to me.
Well, I think so, Richard, yeah, but he's called it. The other kid that's impressed me from the French side is their hooker, number 9, Valero. He's had a big game.
So, a few surprise fans here at the Addington Showgrounds. I guess Gary Freeman would be a little surprised. General consensus of opinion in the commentary box is that Freeman could be struggling with that ankle injury he sustained at training yesterday, and he had to pass the fitness test at 6:30 this morning. I know the conditions are fairly heavy here at the Addington Showgrounds, but he doesn't seem to have the same sort of zip.
That's fair comment too. I think there's just not the sting in his play at this stage. There's not really a lot of sting in the Kiwi attack at the moment.
Much better half-time scoreline for the French. Down by 12 points to 8 in the first test at Carlaw Park. They were down by 32 points to 0. That's the quarter line. French end of the ground. Both sides unchanged for the second half. Ontar. Loose forward onto his second rower there. That's Boyal. 30 metres out from the line now. Ontar, they want it down the blind side. Fairness wrapped up, the good yardage out wide by the Frenchman. 5th tackle. Sloppy pass back to Fage. Find some open spaces, but a good bounce for Frano Botica. Crossfield goes Bonica. Pull down 10 metres from the halfway line. Now New Zealand 23 minutes in possession, France 16. That's in the first half. Colotto.
And I think he's had a fair first half, Colotto. A lot of tackles. He's probably looked the most effective running forward of the Kiwis so far.
Number 12, Amosi Colotto, only his second test match. Now an early chip over the top by the Kiwis, and good running there from David Watson. Good chasing by the centre, who had a very strong first half. The French all offside. But another kick. And this time it's Fage.
Fage will get up to play it here to Valero. Cross to Ontar. Now to Beauty Knoll. He's tackled by Lonigan and his second row partner, Colotto. This is Ontar. To the other second row there, he's standing. Allowed to stand in the tackle, Gerard Boyals. Take it to the short side again. Working it across field. Valero, hard working from dummy half so far. Good tackle again from McCracken. He certainly knows how to hit this boy. Another kick downfield. Botica fields it safely. Trying to look for a gap. Not many on today. Oh, not a good pass to Blackmore into touch. That is the kind of thing the Kiwis don't need. They've got to treasure the ball. They have to protect it.
It was a good set of 6 from the French. They put the kick down. It was a deep kick. Now they forced the error. It's certainly not the best pass that I've seen Frano put in.
The French have said all this week that they were hoping for a heavy ground. They got it over in Greymouth and never really excelled in it, but the top team, the test team, making the most of the heavy conditions, because the Kiwis are certainly struggling.
McCracken, big tackle. He's certainly moving forward on his man. His timing is tackling well.
Well, let's see now what the French can do with it. 10 metres inside New Zealand territory. This is Stora, still running. Nuggety prop.
Now, if you were in the coaching seat at the moment, Kevin, suspect you'd be looking at pretty early putting on someone like George Mann.
I'd certainly be encouraging, I'd be telling, in fact, demanding that forward pack move forward. They're not moving forward at all.
Intercept here. David Watson has picked it up, but it's been called back by the referee.
David would be disappointed with that. Came off the French hands. Patrick on top with a risky pass. Came off Kelly Shelford, in fact.
Good call from the referee.
It was a very good call.
David Watson, quick to seize the opportunity.
Not too many nice things said about Graham Ainui as a referee in the World Cup final in 1988, but you have to give him credit for that decision just then.
And Fage cleans up after the knockback. Dumar at dummy half. Ditzbar. And straight into Brent Todd. No, it was Peter Brown. Bird. Todd over the top. Dwayne Mann underneath. 30 metres out from the Kiwi line. The French can score first in the second half. We've got a great test match on our hands. Now this has been picked up by
Watson.
Blackmore. Been called back.
David Watson went in for the intercept. He put it down. Blackmore picked it up. It was a knock on. David Watson almost got hold of it. And it resulted in the scrum.
Maybe it'll be third time lucky for David Watson with the intercepts.
Well, he's certainly hounding around for them. He's looking for them.
So this is Verd to play it. Valero. Kiwis leading 12-8. A really unexpected scoreline after that 60-6 thrashing at Carlaw Park. No one would have thought there'd be 4 points in it at this stage of the match. Looks like there's a bit of problems there for Boy Owls. Dumar with a little kick ahead. Pushed forward, but Blackmore cleans up nicely. Standing. Eventually brought down by Cavastani. Dwayne Mann to Colotto.
That's all they've got to do is just keep making hard yards.
This is Boy Owls looking to have problems with his ankle. Just hobbling around there before. Seems to be masking it all right now. This is Brown to Lonergan over the top to Panapa. He's in space. Oh, it's knocked down there by the French. Kelly Shelford's there to grab the loose ball. Dwayne Mann, sorry. Gary Freeman. Onto Nico. Unload in the tackle. Knocked forward though, says Graham Ainui there. Freeman, not too pleased there. Something's annoying him. Be frustrated about his own game, frustrated about the scoreline at the moment.
I think so. There will be a lot of pressure on Gary at the moment. He certainly showed that in that tackle.
French ball into the scrum and Vad takes it out. Freeman's there to wrap him up.
You give him one too.
Dumar out to Dispar. 25 metres out from the French line. This is Stora. The man they call the Māori because of his looks.
Nice looking lad, is he, Clarkie?
Onta. Ved, the loose forward, having a strong game, a busy game.
What the French have been able to do, they're still making yards. They're still hitting that advantage line, beating on with a big, strong run.
And this is Valero. Good yardies by the French, finding just the odd hole or two up the middle around the Kiwi close markers. Blackmore is back there, and Dispar was offside.
Might have played a little advantage there. Blackmore could have made some big gains on that one. He just shrugged off the first tackle.
I thought that was a bit hard on him. He was only 3 yards in front.
David Despin. He's the one penalised there. Oh, he hasn't found touch. That's a terrible error again from the Kiwis. Elementary things just aren't going for them today. Fage. Chased by Blackmore. The Kiwis under pressure today. They're looking for their first home series win since 1984 when you played, KT.
Yes, I remember that well.
Hello, here we have a little injury problem. Storer down, holding the head.
In plenty of pain there, Yves Storer.
Yves Storer. He certainly had a big game for me.
Another look at the incident here. Head straight into the mixture of turf and mud here at the Addington Showgrounds. Still a little bit wobbly on his feet. On time. Valero waits for the dummy half. Well, there's that's Burnaby is 14 and number 16 Frank Romano. So two of the French replacements warming up in goal.
He's a character, Burnaby, number 14. He's been around for a long, long time, and he is one of the characters in the French game.
They call him Tarzan.
Freeman out with the ball. Shelford. The Panapa looking for some work. Dumas and Despin have him sorted out. Colotto, what a ball to Lonergan in these conditions. Under Blackmore, this will be try time for the Kiwis. Forget about it, France. The Kiwis are there and they're ahead 16-8.
A good try, a very good try, all the 50 metres. Blackmore did well to be on the end of that. He timed it right. Imosi Colotto. Then Blackmore finishing. He'll be pleased with that. Imosi Colotto, a good ball to Dean Lonergan. Good support from Lonergan. Took it to the fullback. Blackmore in support, and there was no one going to catch him from there. The first run that Blackmore has had today, and he certainly made the most of it. Really enjoyed that.
Display today from him. Also, coincidentally, a perfect kicking display from Gilles Dumas, the French captain.
Five up again for Bruno Bonica.
And here we have Brent Todd coming off the field. This could be ominous for the Kiwis. Got a problem there with his left arm or shoulder, perhaps. And George Mann's the replacement. Now, he's a man with fire, a man with power.
George has got a point to prove. He's got to prove to people that he should be in this first team lineup. And he's certainly coming in with a lot of enthusiasm. He's got a point to prove. Dwayne Mann, Imosi Colotto, the maker of the try.
Kiwis about 10 metres inside their own half as George Mann gets a taste of the atmosphere out there. Gary Freeman, a quick dart almost to the halfway line. Right in the mud again. Now it's Kelly Shelford. Out to David Watson. Watson through the gap. Parnapa is there, but he's put it down. Being picked up by Cyril Paul for the French. He hasn't got the pace to get away. Boddick is there as well as Parnapa. Now one of the replacements on for France, Burnaby. And another penalty coming up to the French. New Zealand penalised, and so Dumas has another chance to put a couple of points on. 13 there, Daniel Vaud.
He was the player that was down behind the play after a tackle.
So the tackle there from Brown over the top and Parnapa underneath. The referee right on the spot. And holding down in the tackle.
That's a welcome to Addington Showgrounds and the famous or infamous Christchurch mud.
It's a lovely place, isn't it, Thierry?
That's a face pack that he will never forget.
Gilles Dumas. Narrows the gap just a little. So after 14 minutes of the second half at the Addington Showgrounds, New Zealand leading France by 18 points to 10. Yesterday to make the starting 13 when Gary Freeman hurt his ankle at training. Kabustani now. Gary Freeman. Here's Clayton Friend warming up for him. Is that ankle worrying Freeman just a little more than most of us expected?
I knew that if he's going to struggle, any ankle problems the day before a test match, he's going to struggle.
Bernard there. George Mann. Ball and all. And the Kiwis come away with it. Only about 12 metres out now. Blotto wants it. 10 metres out from the French line. 18 points to 10. George Mann. He wants to get the trousers dirty.
And that's the man the French really have a dislike for, George Mann.
Well, the French come away with it now, where there's a knock on there. Ontar read that one pretty well. Just couldn't control the ball, though. And Dumas cleaned up, but it was a knock on.
Here we see it, attempted intercept, knocked down, that's a scrum. And back live we see Freeman up the field, Friend on, he's over with his first touch from the scrum.
Well, what an unbelievable introduction to a test match. Gary Freeman left the field, Clayton Friend fed the scrum, and they left a gap a kilometre wide for Clayton Friend. How's that for an introduction?
Must have been all of 4 seconds. Well done, Raku. Good scrum, first speed. Away from the base of the scrum, nobody there, no defence, no French defence at home, and Raku scores his first try for a long, long time for the Kiwis.
That's right, it's actually his 6th try in test matches. This is his 21st appearance in a test as Frano Boddicker keeps his 100% record intact. And so New Zealand now leading by 24 points to 10. The try scorer Clayton Friend plays with the Carlisle club in Great Britain. I know some other first division clubs have been chasing him. Made his debut in 1982.
What an introduction to the game. There's so much imagery there. You saw Freeman looking back as he went off the field, and there goes Friend into the scrum straight out. That is so reminiscent of everything we can remember of Clayton Friend in the mid-80s.
Well, he's another player that has got a point to prove, and he certainly showed it in style. At least 5 seconds.
29 going on 25, as he said in an interview in Lion Red Rugby League Week magazine. So it's Nico to take it back from the kickoff.
Well, Kevin Tamati, can the French here come back now? We've admired their grit and determination compared to some of their previous performances.
No, Clarkie, I don't think they can come back. Well, in fact, I'm pretty sure that they can't come back. But I'm pleased. This is a different game to what we saw in Auckland. Different commitment.
Kabustani penalised there once again for holding the player down. From the Santa Steve club, only 22 years of age. He came here with a big reputation, but he can't afford to give away silly penalties like that. Boddicker finds touch. The tap about 10, and right on the halfway line, in fact. Bit of a planned move on here. Blotto comes away with it. Peter Brown wants it. Out to Mann. Clayton Friend. This time he's wrapped up. Bernabe and Verd in there to drive the Kiwis back. They've lost ground. Nikau. Man out to Lonigan. Dean Lonigan running wide. He's got McCracken inside. Over the quarter line goes McCracken. He pops it up to Dwayne Mann. This is more like the Kiwis we remember in the first test in Auckland. Now it's Friend. The momentum is rolling. Kelly Shelford, the big one over the top. David Watson, try time. David Watson will score. Did he get it down at the end? Oh, he almost made a mess of it there.
Well, was that a pass or was that a pass from Kelly Shelford? A great ball by Kelly Shelford. I think our MOM in Auckland was certainly a right choice.
Well, have a look at this from Dean Lonigan. You have to admire the big second row when you see him out in the open like that. Inside to Jared McCracken. He is clearly having problems with this heavy ground, McCracken. Good backing up from Dwayne Mann. And then the passes coming up. You've been a big fan of Kelly Shelford for a while, Kevin, and it must be
real exciting. He gets a good ball from Clayton Friend. He's got plenty of space, and he just ignores the 4 players that he's got to his left. Picks David Watson running into a gap out wide, and David goes over in the corner. A great ball from Kelly Shelford. He was looking a bit ambitious, David. I think he wanted to go around and score under the post, so he's lucky to get it down.
His 5th try in Test matches. Scored 3 tries in his debut, and that was against France in 1989.
It's a very difficult conversion now for Frano Bodica from the sideline. Reminiscent of one I think a certain commentator had for the Dinosaurs in Auckland against Ngātapuai College on Wednesday.
And he kicked it too, right between the sticks.
Did he what? Clayton and Frano Bodica hasn't done it this time. That's his worst kick by far. Didn't strike it at all well. The Kiwis now leading 28-10, 21 minutes into the second half. Now have a look at this. What a pass from Shelford. That's a super pass. That's a Wally Lewis special. Anyone you want to call. That's as good a pass as you're going to see anywhere in the world.
David Watson read it well. He ran into the gap. Kelly picked him up in the gap. The try was made from the pass, and David running into the gap.
Nearly a fight for the ball there for Watson and Colotto.
Yeah. I think he had a choice. He had a choice between David Watson or Mossy Colotto. David was just quick enough to get in there before Mossy.
Well, the Kiwis inside their own quarter again from the kickoff. Colotto up the middle. There's a replacement on for France, number 15, Roger Pelisse, one of the 2 vice captains. As George Brand gets a good ball out to Lonergan again, but that time it was forward. Lontar puts it in and takes it out. First touch of the ball for Police. Valero dummy half. This is Bernard B. Flat-footed though, and George Mann read that one pretty well. Midway, halfway in the quarter line, inside New Zealand territory. A little knock on in there. Mistake from Valero. He wasn't happy. That's Michael Patton warming up for the Kiwis. In fact, he's going straight on. Well, this is Frano Bodica. Mike Patton is on the field for Kelly Shelford, so there's a rearranged back line at the moment. Shelford, I think he's obviously done enough out there, so they're giving everyone a bit of a run. It would appear that David Watson will now play at standoff. The other blind side go the Kiwis. Colotto pushes out of one. Up over the halfway line he goes. He's into touch, however. So there'll be a scrum on the halfway line.
And that, again, put it down to the wet conditions, sure. Got a little bit too close to the touch line. You can't defend your position very well there. That was early in the tackle count. That's a shame. Ontar takes it out. Getting very murky here. Cyril Ponce, look for some work. Valero. Picked up by the new standoff. David Watson. This is Cavastani. 3 defenders there. And right in that mud. Stora. The best of the French props, I would say the best of the French forwards today.
He certainly had a big game. He's taken the ball to the Kiwis all day.
Ontar. No way through. Just seems to hesitate that little bit. There's not as much time for him to do things as he might be used to for Hull in the English Premiership. Looked like a knock on in there, but the referees let it go. Ball popped out, it's loose. Picked up and just held onto by Jean-Marc Garcia. And that's a handover, that's 6 gone. So not such a good set for France. Sam Panapa. Watson takes over at dummy half. On to Peter Brown. Looking to unload, thinks better of it. Dwayne Mann on the blind side to that man Friend. Goes underneath a high shot, takes a little bit of a slap around the face. Sloppy play. What was he trying to do then? Just got away with it. George Mann, look at him pushing them off. And an unload again to Colotto. And another one to Friend, another high shot that he just gets away from. Friend, what a good introduction he's had to this match. First touch, he's really doing some damage. Colotto puts in the kick, picked up nicely by Ponce. Panapa gets his man. This is Terry Barnaby. George Mann and Dwayne Mann, the cousins, in there to make the tackle. Felice gets it to Valero's falling over.
I think he can be lucky he fell over on that one, Richard, because missile was coming in from Tawaraniko.
It was. Lonergan telling him to get up and play it. There's plenty of aggression in his face. 15 minutes to go. New Zealand leading 28 points to 10. This is Roger Felice. Well fielded there by Panapa. Felice up there chasing his kick. Mike Patton launches himself. This is Dwayne Mann onto George Mann. He's got out of another tackle. Committing himself. Peter Brown, the hands free. Pass put down by Dwayne Mann. France can't mop it up. Knock-ons in there. We'll have a scrum, thank you.
Valero on the ground there. Pretty unhappy about not being able to hang on to that one.
Well, they get the ball, they take it back to the first knock-on by Dwayne Mann, so it's the French put in anyway.
Now the French come away with it. This is Ontar wrapped up by Clayton Friend. The two little halfbacks collide in the mud at Addington. Now there's a replacement on for France. This is Romano, Franck Romano. Butignol. Can't push off Nico and also Brown. 10 metres from halfway. That's the replacement. Franck Romano from the Carpentry Club, 26 years of age. Now it's out wide. Dispar can't get away from Blackmore. Lonergan over there as well. Bernabe. Plenty of time there to get that kick in. No one was interested in chasing him. Monica over the quarter line. .25 out now from the New Zealand line. Blackmore. One of the Kiwi try scorers again today. Michael Patton. Fresh reserve, wanting to get involved. He gets a taste of the Addington mud. Friend. The runners just weren't there. The Clayton Friend on his own. Now Dwayne Mann. Colotto. Back to Friend. Can't free the hands as Lonergan was storming onto it again. Watson. This is out Brown. Here's one to Jared McCracken with a bit of room to move. McCracken still going. Inside to Tawaraniko. Pops one over the top. Looked a bit forward that one, but it's going to be a try. Play on, says the referee. And it's a try. To the Kiwis. Sammy Panapa. 32 points to 10. His 6th test try. And only his 8th test match. Viennese not too happy about that one.
It certainly looked forward from here. But David Watson picking the ball up from the play, the ball into space with Jared McCracken. McCracken turned it inside to Tawaraniko. Tawaraniko, the ball was forward from up here in opposition, but not down with referee Arnui, and he gave the try to Sam Panapa.
Well, hasn't Sam Panapa got some try-scoring rate in test football? Just in his 8th test, it's try number 6, as you said, Greg. That's a great rate of scoring for any player.
to get us in the position, to get the Kiwis into that position, it came from a lot of hard work from the halfway line by Clayton Friend. I think there was a move that ended in the play the ball before Sam Parnham scored the try, and Clayton Friend played an important part in collecting the ball 3 times.
Not successful this time for Frono Bodicus, so his second miss of the day. And we now have about 10 minutes of play remaining in the second test match. 2 valuable World Cup points up for grabs, and New Zealand on the way to clinching those points, 32 points to 10.
And also on the way to clinching their first series victory at home since 1984 against Great Britain.
Well, Jared McCracken, they stood off him, the big man, was allowed to set up this beautiful run from Toa Nikau, and there's the one over the top. The referee was right there. Play on, he says. He's the man in charge. Try to Panapa. Now, number 17 for the French is Robert Vizgay, 22-year-old from the Saint-Gaudin club, and this is his first test match. He's coming on to replace Fage, the fullback. Well, that ball's going to go over the touchline on the far side. French trying a little bit of a short kick-off, but that's Vizgay. Had a good game against the West Coast the other day and forced his way into the reserves. A late replacement on this tour. Friend, Watson at that standoff. Now this is Sam Panapa. That's to the halfway line. Mann from dummy half. He's given good service from dummy half again today, Dwayne Mann. Colotto. Gary Mercer warming up from the Warrington Club in Britain. Now this is George Mann, almost to the halfway line. Lonigan. Now it's a penalty to the Kiwis. The referee, rather than... Well, he's taken a long time to get the message through to the players, Kevin.
It has. It's just one of those important games that there's a qualifier for the World Cup, so the players won't be taking a lot of notice. Dean Lonigan, he certainly had a good performance today. He certainly has got a lot of critics to prove wrong.
McCracken started to get a bit more flow going into his play this half, just as the Kiwis have freed up. Patton from dummy half. Patton still going to Dwayne Mann. Another try on here for the Kiwis, but it's butchered by McCracken.
Dwayne Mann, the pass wasn't on. He put it to McCracken when McCracken had too much traffic around him. Instead of taking the tackle himself, setting it up.
Jared McCracken has 1 point in our UBIC's Most Valuable Player Award. And, of course, the 2 points from the first test went to Brent Todd and 3 points to Kelly Shelford. At the end of the match, we will be naming the UBIC's Most Valuable Player of this particular match. This is a New Zealand award only. And then we will name the man of the series is Patrick Gontard. Puts the mouth guard back in. Comes back to take his spot at the scrum. He'll have the feed into the scrum as well. Difficult to come up with the scrums there. New Zealand 11, France 10. It'll be difficult to come up with our UBIC's Most Valuable Player today.
It's certainly not going to be easy, Clarkie.
There are plenty more deserving performances from the Kiwis in the second half than we saw in the first, you would venture to say, of course.
Plenty of hand signals there from Mr. Ainui.
The rule is they weren't standing square. New Zealand side was standing offside at the play the ball.
French not sure what to do. Finally, it's Roger Police to come up and kick for touch.
New Zealand has beaten France in the last 8 test matches prior to this one today and scored an amazing 216 points for, and France can only manage 28 points in those 8 tests. So this really is a pretty good performance by France, considering they've got 10 points on the board.
It's certainly a lot better than we saw in Auckland.
There's those 2 props again. They've made a good 10 to 15 yards.
Yeah, good work from Beauty Knoll and Storer. Much more committed, much more patterned, much more decisive than they were in Auckland. This is Burnaby. Dwayne Mann hovers over him. Valero to Patrick Onta. Then Frank Romano, who's brought down by Gary Mercer, the last of the Kiwi replacements. Onta hoofs it way down. This is easy for Baraka. Looking for a way through. Just about getting too dark for him to see the holes in the defence.
Although it's not easy to pick up on the screen, Dwayne Mann, Brent Todd and Mossy Colotto are certainly a big work rate, with the French not too far behind. So those front six have certainly laid down the foundations for this tremendous performance by both sides.
And to Watson. Colotto double round to Watson. Loopy pass over the top to Blackmore. Got a chance to beat his man on the outside, but won't do it this time. They mob him, absolutely mob him.
What I was about to say, Richard, before those stats came up, I was going to comment on the lights. This time in England, the lights would have been switched on, but you can't pick it up on this screen because it's so well lit up.
Friend really dictating. Is it going to go a little bit deep? It is. With a restart at the 22.
Valero wants a quick tap. Won't get away from David Watson. Burnaby at dummy half. Onta. Inside of Butignol. Midway, halfway on the quarter line. French end of the ground. Police. Now this is Stora. Police. Valero. He's run out of support. Takes a tackle of Brown. Burnaby. 10 from halfway. Onta. The blind side. Bennett. That's the fifth tackle. Bad from dummy half. But Bonneka's back there. Got a little bit of space to move. Fronto Bonneka. Away from Bennett. That's a good return from the fullback. Almost to the halfway line. Inside the last 5 minutes of the Addington Showgrounds. Now it's Vikal. Brent cleans up. George Mann. Knock back. And in fact, it's back to 1. Mann copped a bit of a knock in the head there as well. Colotto can't find any room up the middle. Peter Brown. 3 metres from halfway. Dwayne Mann. Fairly pedestrian-like in this set of 6 from the Kiwis, but they've got the game well and truly wrapped up. They've got the 2 World Cup points. Nico. And if the Kiwis can pull off a win in the 3rd test against Australia next month, it will pretty well assure them of a spot in the next World Cup final. As we see the clearing kick from Clayton Friend. This guy couldn't get a hand to it. Good kick from Friend. Doesn't seem to be able to do anything wrong.
Well, Clayton certainly saved the Kiwis a lot of hard work, a lot of yardage. Biscay wasn't able to bend down and pick up the ball up. I guess it's back to basic football. He should have stopped the ball with his foot, and he would have had possession.
Certainly looked sloppy. Onta with the feed, the scrum's even. And the penalty. Kiwis knock back the 5 in the backs. So can France work some little piece of magic in the match's last moments. 9-7, the penalties favouring New Zealand. And there's flat top Lonergan. Look at that haircut. Frank Endicott, the Kiwi Colts coach, Canterbury coach behind him. Lonergan, every reason to be impressed with this game.
Hey, put that back here.
Mercer and Dwayne Mann with the tackle. On task, It's a little short one to Beatty-Noel Storer and then to Terry Burnaby, but he spills. And Blackmore has got some real space here. He's split the defence there. Can't quite get away, but links up beautifully with Patton. Where's the support now? Another wide pass. Can't quite find it. Here's Mercer. Oh, they're playing a bit of basketball here, but Watson's got it. Chances on again. Wide out there to Boddicker, hits it at pace. Now McCracken, and again to Dwayne Mann. Friend, Watson stumbles short of the line. What a great try that could have been for the Kiwis. Friend flicks it out the back door, intercepted by Ontar. The French getting into the same mood.
Well, the Kiwis tried to turn it on for the crowd at the last minute or two of the match. In fact, it is all over here at the Addington Showgrounds. New Zealand have beaten France by 32 points to 10. And that is dispar with the ball there. But I think the French can be pretty happy with the way things went for them today, considering it was 60-6 in the first test, 32 points to 10. The final score here at the Addington Showgrounds after New Zealand led by 12 points to 8 at half-time. They scored 5 tries to 1. And this was a pretty good workout for the Kiwis today. And Kevin Tamati, well, I think the French have probably warmed up pretty well for their one test series and the 4 or 5 match tour of Papua New Guinea. They head off up north on Monday.
I know after the first test in Auckland, Clarkie, there were a lot of people in Auckland who were feeling sorry for the French after that score that the Kiwis knocked up against them up there. I'm sure that the matches they had in New Zealand have benefited them. And sure, from this performance, this first 60 minutes of their second test performance, they certainly did very well indeed.
Peter Brown there, leaving the muddy conditions of the Addington Showgrounds, and we'll be talking to our UBIC's most valuable player of the match and also the series very, very shortly. His valuable player, and this one is for today's match. First of all, the 1 point goes to Kelly Shelford, 2 points to Dave Watson, and 3 points to our man of the match today, Omosi Koloto. Omosi, you've only had 2 rugby league test matches. You must be pretty keen and very pleased with the way things are going for you.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with today's win. There was a lot of pressure on a lot of players out there today, and it wasn't the condition that we are hoping to get. But at the end of the day, we end up winning. So I really enjoyed the winning.
Koloto, what a ball to Lonergan in these conditions. Onto Blackmore, this will be try time for the Kiwis. Forget about it, France. The Kiwis are there and they're ahead 16-8.
So now we can move on to the UBIC's most valuable player of the series against France, and helping us with the presentation is a representative of UBIC's in Canterbury. In fact, he's the coach of the UBIC's Canterbury men's Rams basketball team and the coach of the New Zealand men's basketball team, Keith Mayer. Did you enjoy seeing the oval ball in action out there?
I did, and I enjoyed the skills they showed in the wet conditions and the muddy conditions, and I also enjoyed the body contact. There were no referees there calling fouls for some of the big hits today.
Well, let's have a look at how the points table ended in the UBIC's MVP of the series. On top, Kelly Shelford with 4 points, Omosi Koloto 3, Brent Todd and Dave Watson on 2, and Jared McCracken on 1. Keith Mayer, you have the UBIC's MVP trophy there. What a magnificent trophy, and it'll be pride of place on Kelly's mantelpiece, no doubt. So you can hand it over.
Congratulations, Kelly. Enjoyed your performance a great deal. Excellent. On behalf of UBIC's. Thanks.
Kelly, you must be delighted with the way you've come in as a late replacement and really turned things on.
Well, you know, today's game was a bit slow, you know, for everybody out there to see. You know, it was wet and all that. The players tried their best. You know, we started slow in the first half, then we started picking it up in the second half. You know, I'd like to thank the French for their game, you know, their efforts today, and I'd like to thank the 17 guys that played for us today.
Watson's going to take the tap. Back inside it goes to Kelly Shelford. They've caught the French napping. It's a try to New Zealand. Good work, first of all, from Watson, and then Kelly Shelford finished it off. Well, the Kiwi skipper is with us now, Gary Freeman. Gary, we spotted you a little bit sluggish out there today. Was it just the conditions, or did the ankle play up a little bit?
Oh, I think mainly it was just the conditions. It's very hard when you've got a sore ankle as I have, and I was lucky enough even to get onto the field today. But when the mud's up to your ankles, it's very hard to get out, and I think most of the players really did struggle in that absolutely diabolical pitch out there.
Were you surprised with the French? They certainly did stick to their task a little better today.
Yeah, we knew that they were going to come out a lot harder and a lot more fired up, and they were playing for a lot of pride today, and it showed in their game after the win against West Coast. And then they came here and they really did fire up in that first 40 minutes, and only going in 12 points late at half-time. It was a bit of a struggle after half-time to sort of get some more points on the board.
So just in conclusion, are you happy with the way things are going in the Kiwi camp?
Well, you know, the score indicator, we won very, very well, and, you know, I think everyone's very happy with that, and Bob is. Till at half-time he wasn't very happy, but at the end of the game he's happy, and we come away with a win and we keep the Lion Red Cup here, so that's the main objective of this Test series.
Congratulations, Gary Freeman, the Kiwi skipper, and that's it from the Addington Showgrounds. Back to you, Jeff.